Hello and welcome to the War Scholar Book Chat on my Full Contact Nerd Twitch channel, where I talk about the hardcover military history and general history books released today. If I don't have enough for the day, I do a few from the past few days. So, without further ado, and I also archive this on my YouTube channel, War Scholar 1945, if you want to see it there. So first we'll look at the military history books released today. I'll go through the covers first and titles so you can see what we're going to review. And what I do is, the idea is if I came across all these books today in a bookstore or library, which one of them would I decide to sit down and read? There's always lots of good books available. Did that one double. But yeah, I have to be pretty ruthless because there's a lot to read. A lot comes out every day. Alright, so first, the Armada Portrait. So this book is an analysis of this famous painting of Queen Elizabeth I, commemorating her great sea battle of 1588 against the Spanish Armada. It's a very interesting story. So 80 pages from the Royal Museum's Greenwich. That looks cool to read about. Defensive Homes, Home Guard Training Series. So this is a sort of a reprint or a training book from 42 from the Royal Armory's archives about how people were supposed to conduct defensive houses. So that'd be curious to read, but Armada wins out. Figureheads on the Bow of the Ship, published by Royal Museums. They seem to have a bunch of books coming out today. Released today, 160 pages. Figureheads. This is cool. 50 examples of wooden carvings. That'd be cool to read. And I post these links on my website, warscholar.org. You can find those, and also my Twitter, Warscholar, and Facebook, Warscholar. So you can find links there to these books. So what wins out? I think I like the Armada battle a lot, so this would be cool, but this one wins out for the day. What else do we have to compete? Mediatization of War and Peace, the role of media in political communications. Walter de Gruyter, 300 pages, so academic press. Mass media in the First World War. Looks cool to read, but again, Armada is beating all competition. Sri Lanka. This should be in my general military history. So I will slide it over on the other side for now. Walk in My Combat Boots, True Stories from America's Bravest Warriors. Published by Little Brown and Company, 416 pages. So a lot of great reviews of it. James Patterson. Hundreds of original interviews. That seems very interesting. Eye-opening book. So I've read a lot of stuff like this already. So even though this would be really cool to read, since I'm very familiar with the subject matter, it definitely looks like a quality book. But again, the Armada, you don't understand how much I love naval stuff. I guess you do now that I've said it. Anyway, so this would be good for anyone interested in this topic. You can see the breakdown. Yeah, these look like good stories. So there you have it. For anyone who's interested in that, there's something to pick up, but I'm sticking with the Armada. Blackhawk War Guide. Man, this looks cool too. Blackhawk War was the final conflict east of the Mississippi between American Indian communities and the U.S. regular troops. Museums, wayside markers, and parks. The History Press, 208 pages. Man, this is a good one too. Today is a day of good books. Oh, it's paperback. Dang it. Armada wins again. Man, this was a tough choice today. Armada is my choice for the day. Queen Elizabeth wins out against all competition. So, we will now go on to, so here's the website, warscholar.org. Now, we will look at the books that were released February 8th, or recently if there aren't enough. So I'm going to have to fix that. 748. There you go. It's a bunch of books. And this general history is really a big compilation of all kinds of stuff. American history, world history, American politics, world politics, true crime, Native American history, slavery and emancipation. So, eugenics and the making of modern Virginia. 8,000 people involuntarily sterilized over a 50-year period, more or less. It's pretty intense. Belt Publishing, 176 pages. Interesting topic. This one is about a Chinese Algonquin Books 288. So this story, at least from what it says, is really interesting. An educated Chinese guy, like a scientist, was sent for political re-education to work in a Chinese factory, and he slipped a note into a package that got to an American saying, basically, please help us, we're in a prison labor camp being forced to work because we don't agree with Chinese government politics. So this would be a fascinating read. So that beats out this one. Bastard Politics, Sovereignty and Violence. So this is from SUNY Press, 204 pages, academic, usually assertion of natural rights. So it's basically about using God and politics to justify violence. And this is focused on France, so very narrow topic, interesting, but this one beats it out. Modernization, Resilience in China, Routledge, 434 pages, so a deep academic look at China. So China is interesting, obviously, and that's why I'm drawn to this one. This looks like a good reference text, but not a daily flip through and read, so this still wins out. Mobility and Migration in Ancient Mesoamerican Cities. So this category also includes ancient history and archaeology. So Colorado Press, 392 pages. So data-rich chapters, critical insight into Mesoamerican cities. Looks cool, but very detailed. A very heavy read for anyone interested in that. And there you go. China still wins out. Sri Lanka, so a history of Sri Lanka, Unicorn Publishing, 224 pages. I'm going to knock this one out. Too focused, not really that interested in Sri Lanka, but I need to leave this up because I need to fix my data. So Globalization and American Pop Culture, Roman and Littlefield, 328 pages. So this looks interesting. The ways in which American movies, TV, music, fast food, sports, gaming, and fashion influence globalization. Maybe this belongs in my full contact nerd fiction and nonfiction studies grouping. Yeah. So our winners are Made in America, Prisoner in SOS Letter and the Hidden Cost of America's Cheap Goods, Amelia Pang. That's the one I'd flip through today. And the Armada Portrait by Christine Ridding. So there are your winners. And again, there you go. And again, I archive these in my YouTube channel, War Scholar. So thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.